Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh my gosh. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, just living this quarantine life that we're
I'm
all in.
I'm so excited to talk to you. You have no idea.
I know I've been wanting to talk to you. I think since I first met you and even before that, but like I put it like this, I always wanted to when I started like interviewing artists, I never wanted to ever do like telephone interviews or kind of computer interviews. I'm like, no, I want to do it in person. And
Yeah.
but now everyone's like, well, Nick, you kind of have to, there's no other way of doing them right now. So I'm like, hey, this is
I
a perfect opportunity.
I think it's great. I think it's great that you're doing this. I love to see that you're still doing your thing after all these years. So thank you for giving us a platform to be able to catch up with our fans and all that good
Yeah,
stuff. I'm super excited.
I know, because like when I posted, everyone was so excited. They're like, oh my God, I can't wait to see Natalie. But I want to just ask you first, like, how has it been for you during this quarantine? Because, you're in the industry, you still do stuff in the industry. How's it been for you just getting adjusted to it?
Hold on, I'm having technical
Shit.
issues.
No
Okay, there we
problem.
go. So it's a thing of doing this on your phone and you don't tell people like, hey, don't call me because I'm doing an
Uh-huh.
interview. But I believe your question was how has it been going for me with all this, with the quarantine and things
Hmm.
like that. To be quite honest, it's given me a whole different perspective on, first of all, I've been a very busy person all my life. So for
Yeah.
me, it's actually been a positive because I've been able to focus really deep on some things that maybe I've pushed back a little, but then also to
Uh-huh.
really just focus on myself, right? Like my health,
Hmm.
my mental health, my physical health, everything. So it's actually been pretty good. It's like a fortunate but unfortunate thing. But it's been
Yeah.
good. It's been good for me. So how about you?
It's not bad. I moved back from LA because I was just kind of like, I want to be home. I
Right.
And Chicago is Illinois is doing pretty good, surprisingly,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of shocking to me because we're the third biggest market. But yeah, it's been good. Like I've been in the house. I haven't really left because I'm paranoid as hell. Unfortunately, I'm just
Yeah.
like that. But it's not bad. I mean, it could be. I'm a homebody in a way.
Yeah.
So if I'm not doing something with a purpose outside, I'm kind of like rather be home. That's just how
Right.
I am. Yeah, but I want to bring it all the way back. We're going to bring it back to childhood because I feel like I haven't heard an interview from you that had like your whole entire story. And I really
Yeah.
want to break it down. So, like growing up, what did you want to be growing up? And what age did you know like music was going to be maybe a part of your life, would you say?
So growing up, I wanted to be what everyone wants to be, a singer,
Uh-huh.
a dancer, an entertainer.
Uh-huh.
But then to be quite honest, I also wanted to do like life flight. I wanted to be a lawyer. So I was all over the place. But I think for me, honestly, since you asked about my childhood, I
Mhm.
was that kid that grew up, choreographing dances in the living room. And
Yeah.
I'd be, at every family gathering, I'd push the furniture aside and tell everybody, watch me. Here's a poem I turned into a song, or here's this dance I made up to go on Star Search, things
Uh-huh.
like that. So it honestly has been in my blood since I was younger. At the age of 14 is actually when I told my mother, in our apartment, I told her I'm going to make a song and it's going to be on the radio. And
Uh-huh.
then years later, there was Going Crazy. So I've always danced. I've always been, my mom put me in dance at 12 years old. I've done
Mhm.
everything from like disciplined drill team to even down to like break dancing and doing hip hop with
Mhm.
my neighbors in our neighborhood. So I've always been at heart an entertainer, and I love it. It never has disappeared from me. It always seems to find me.
Yeah.
So that's what it is for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, and like how was it being signed to Universal?
Hmm.
How was that hope? Because, those were the days when I missed them days. Those were the glory days. Those were the days you wanted to be signed. And maybe the money wasn't the best ever, but the exposure was, I mean,
Yeah.
everyone knew about you. Regardless if
Yeah.
they wanted to or didn't want to, they knew who you were. How was it, though, getting signed at first, would you say?
It was amazing. So one of my dream vacations had always been New York City, and I had
Uh-huh.
never been there until I signed my record deal with Universal. and meeting everyone, you know, the executives, the vice president, I can really honestly say, like, of course, you know, in the music business, they look at you and they instantly see dollar signs. We all understand that. But just the way that they treat, back then, the way that they treated me as an artist specifically, I felt a lot of love. I felt that they knew, like, Going Crazy could take, you know, not only myself, but the company even further than what they already were. I mean, it's Universal Records. Everyone wants to sign to Universal. But I had to do an audition live in front of them, and I think I did well, you know, so obviously. So, but where my manager at the time did a great job is, luckily for me, Going Crazy had already been on the radio, so it already had like 1,500 spins prior to me even signing a record deal. So being able to walk into Universal and tell them and show them, hey, my song has already been playing without the backing of a major label. So that was definitely a plus that helped there. But I still remember the feeling of walking down those New York sidewalks and going into Universal and signing with them. So it was like a dream come true, honestly.
Yeah, and like, how does it feel though? Still, like, Going Crazy is just one of them songs. It's played like everywhere at the most random times I'll hear, and I'm like, yo, it's still playing Going Crazy. Like, how does it feel just having one of them songs out there that is kind of like the testament? It's just one of them songs. It's going to be around when we're long gone, and, you know, like, our grandkids and stuff, you know what I'm saying, are going to hear it. How does it feel just having one of them songs out there like that? And like you said, you had it before you even signed, which is even more amazing.
Right. I wrote that song from the depths of my heart, right? And when I received that track, that instrumental, everything just came out of me. So for me, knowing that, even just hearing you say that, I'm so grateful that you feel that it's a timeless record, because I get it as well. I get people to this day who are still like, Going Crazy is my jam. I listen to that song. And what's amazing is that now it's like, even, you know, I come across like 25-year-olds who are like, Going Crazy, like that's, and I'm like, whoa, how do you know that? You know, but it's just a blessing. It honestly is a blessing to be able to have a song that I put together from like my imagination and my heart, and for people to be able to relate to it, even this year, you know, this far down the road, like years later. So it's an amazing feeling, and I definitely understand that I am blessed.
No, definitely. And, you know, the one thing I love, like, you know, back at that time, a lot of artists were told what to do. You know, how was it for you with your debut album? Like, did you get a lot of say-so on what to do, or was it kind of like, you know, artist development and, hey, we want this, this, and this, or was it a collaboration? Like, how was it? 'Cause I know each artist, it's different so much.
Yeah. First of all, I'm looking at, what's up, guys? Hey, Cameron. I love that you have the comments on. Stay is definitely one of my favorite songs I've ever written. And then I just saw someone else said, Better Get It Right. That's my jam too. What's up, Eric Sanchez? Oh my God, this is so amazing. Hey, Sandy. So, no, I definitely was not told what to do for my first album. Thank God. Well, you know, at that time, I just was so super confident in like what I was writing, and no one could tell me anything. I mean, still to this day also, but I just knew that I had some major, that Natalie album, I just knew that I had some major hits in my back pocket. And so I think from my management to the producers to Universal, I felt like they just kind of let me be me. That album cover and the white tank top and jeans, I'm in a tank top, like, you know, like it was totally me. And now since we're in an interview, and I think that there's some people out there who would want to be in the music business, you know, one day, or an entertainer, I will not lie and say that they didn't try to start controlling the second album. But that's what happens in the music business. So, but more specifically, to answer your question, that first album, it was, I could do what I wanted, and I could wear what I wanted to wear and write what I wanted to write. So, like, it sounds like, just talking to you, it sounds like a freaking movie. Like, I just had it made, guys.
That's awesome to know, though, because you hear so many horror stories, especially with like the first album or two. Like, hey, I was kind of told what to do, and finally on the third or fourth album, I finally, you know, spread my wings and, you know, had some say-so. So it's awesome to know, because I always feel like everyone in them times always was told what to do, but it's awesome to hear you weren't. You know, you got to do what you wanted to do, and it was what you wanted to do, not anyone else. But like someone else, I think Eric just said this too in a question I was about to ask this. You had so many good songs on the first album. Like, was there a couple, what songs, like, did you want Energy as a second single, or was there another song you wanted, or was it kind of like, how was it for you? Like, what song would you love to release from the first album if you could?
I love songs like Ooh and Stay and You're the One. Like those, even if those, it's very strange. I do not do this on purpose, but sometimes those songs, like my own songs, would hop up on like my Pandora or Spotify, and I'll be like, whoa. And I'll just go back and listen, because when you're creating this material, you're not in it like the fans are in it. You're in it like perfecting it, critiquing it, you know, listening to instrumentation. So I'm very proud of myself for those songs that I wrote. Energy, I love. Now, Baby Bash actually did write the chorus for that one. I remember us sitting in the car, and he showed me the beat, and he's like, I'm digging on your energy. And so I took what he wrote, what he imagined for the chorus, and wrote around that. And I love that beat. I loved performing that song. So for me, honestly, if it were up to me, I would have made every single would have been some slow R&B, like broke my heart, I need love song. But I think Energy was a smart choice by the record label, by management, and I agreed with it as well. So it just made sense.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you too. Like, why wasn't there a video for Energy?
Sorry, my cousin just logged on.
I wanted to ask you, like, why wasn't there a video? Because there was there was a couple videos not made. Like, why was that the label, or how was, like?
That, you know, what comes behind everything in any business is budget, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, you spend so much money on studio recording and mixing and all these things that people don't even think of when it comes to being able to put a song out. I think, to be quite honest, Energy didn't do, like, we all love Energy, I love that song, but it just didn't do as well at radio as Going Crazy did. So in that music business world, back then especially, they were not going to spend money on a video that was not, like, even matching or surpassing Going Crazy. So
that's crazy. Like,
yeah, but that's how it is.
Yeah, that's just so crazy though, because I felt like that was such. I mean, I'm not even saying listening to it off the CD, because at that time you had to buy the CD to physically listen to it.
Right.
If not, you had to hear it on the radio. And I heard it, at least in Chicago, I heard it it's just crazy, because I feel like that's when budgets were even better. But I feel videos were made for artists that didn't even have, it wasn't even on the spins on radio, let alone they had a full video. Like, I don't get that with labels, why they...
Well, these days you don't have to worry about it. If you got a good friend that has a great video camera, or iPhones these days, like those iPhone 11s, I think Lady Gaga just filmed her new video with an iPhone. So, I mean, these days it's a lot different. So, but yeah, that's how it was back then. And you get this, you know, a specific budget, and you decide, you and your management together, what you want to spend your money on. We're very grateful to go on a tour with Frankie J and Baby Bash. So I loved that. That was so fun to go to so many different cities and meet people like you.
Yeah. I know, it's so crazy. Like, how was that, just touring, like you said? And that's when the Latin, like, all Latin artists came out, I feel, at the same time. And it was awesome to see. And now it's, like, back again. Like, I was talking to Jenny Ortega the other day, and it was, you know, you, Jenny Ortega, Paula Deanda, Frankie J, Baby Bash, Nina Sky, you know, Daddy Yankee just came out. How was it having the what's that word?
The chorale?
Yeah, like, how was it for you all, like, and being together? And it was so dope, because you weren't just, like, how could I say, you weren't just artists. You were collaborating with each other, you know, working in the studio together, like, becoming actual friends.
Yeah, it was amazing. My manager kind of used to compare that whole era to Motown Records, to what's his name, Gordy, what's his first name? Come on. I know, it's on the Barry Gordy. Yes, there we go. Music people, we know Barry Gordy. But it just, to take over like that, and it was amazing, not like for everyone, right? That we were doing R&B pop music, well, me specifically, that was getting played on what used to be called urban radio, you know?
Yeah.
I remember people meeting me and they would be like, I didn't know you were Hispanic. You know, I thought you were something. And it's like, what'd you think I was?
Yeah.
But it's just, it was an era where Latins were literally taking over. And yes, you are right. It's so amazing to see again. It's also so great to still see all of those people, Frankie, Paula, Baby Bash, everyone's still keeping busy with music. Like I said, it's never going to go away from us. We might not have albums out for you guys, and we might not be on tour right now, but we're always figuring out ways. That music will never leave us because it's in our heart, you know? So.
No, definitely. And, you know, one thing I really love that you did, what was it? Where Are You? It was dope that you released Where Are You with Jay Roman, because I remember he already released it with Saluna.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is so dope that Natalie, like, how did that process work to get on that track after they already recorded? How was that process?
So I knew that they had already recorded, and I can't tell you why they re-recorded. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I remember going out to Chicago. I believe it was just like a radio run or something like that. And Jay Roman and I are still friends till this day. We actually saw each other out at the NBA All-Star in Chicago this year. But yeah, I remember going to this small studio in someone's house. And to be quite honest, from what I recall, I don't even remember going to Chicago to record a song. I just happened to be there, and they were like, hey, we got this record, and Jay Roman wrote it, and we recorded it that day. And so that's kind of how it came along, and then we put it on the album.
That's so dope. Yeah, because I was always curious. I was like, oh, there's two versions. And I feel like at that time in the music industry, you didn't really hear a lot of different versions. Like today, it's so many people can make a version.
So many remixes.
Yeah, so many different remixes or different artists on a track. But that's so dope. But you know, like the second album, Everything New. How was that album for you? Because you know, you changed your look, you changed the blonde hair. You know, how was it for you transitioning and you know just having a different type of vibe? I feel like it was more upbeat the album than the previous album. Right.
So I will never like say any fibs in an interview because there's always someone out there listening to you who wants to do what you wanted or have done, or you know, you can inspire or motivate people. Wow, someone's like myspace.com. What's up, Alex? Oh, Alex. I remember Alex. No, but it's that second album was a little tough because that's when, like I mentioned earlier on in the interview, is when I was starting kind of getting told like kind of what to look like, suggestions on some things that I probably would have not worn, or I'll always change my hair color. My hair color's been 20,000 different hair colors. I mean, it was like pink when I was in 8th grade. So that's not anything new for me when they're like, let's go blonde. Okay, no problem. The music, yes, again, I write all of my own material, so obviously I was feeling it, but I am an R&B like heart at soul, you know, like that's my kind of music that I enjoy writing. It comes very easy to me. And I think for that second album, we were trying to do something different and a little bit more up-tempo beats, but I can't be mad at like playing skills. They produced majority of that entire second album. And it was amazing. Like my first album by far is my favorite, but the second album kind of was when I started to feel like I couldn't be myself. And in anything, if you're not able to be yourself at any job or any art, it's just not going to work the way you want it to.
Were you happy with the singles choice? Because what was it? What You're Gonna Do was the first one with Bun B. And then,
right. Oh, love that track.
Yes. Like, were you happy with that track at that time? Or did you want something? Because, like, Love You So, I love You So. I thought it was just a good pop.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was just
I love You So, too.
Yeah, like, I could still see a video for that. Like, it's just a perfect song for, like, a video. But how, like, were you happy with both of those singles and, you know, just the reception you were getting? Or did you want any other songs on there that you really wanted to push? But, like you said, the label may have been, you know, hey, no, we're not going that way. We're going this way.
Right. Oh, hold on. I love these. If I could talk to the fans all day, I totally would. Okay, so I love you guys. Thank y'all so much for being here. And thank you, Nick, Gallo, the guy. So what you're gonna do, first of all, I grew up listening to UGK,
Yeah,
obviously, like being from Houston and just Texas, period, like they are Texas legends.
yeah.
Um, and so when I found out that Bun B was gonna be on that record, like after him hearing it and going like, yeah, I'll hop on that, life made. Like I was like, oh my gosh, Bun B from UGK. And it's amazing because we are friends till this day. And it's obviously he supports the Houston Rockets a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
so that definitely keeps us in a constant contact. But what you're going to do, I think, by far is probably one of my favorites off the second album.
Okay.
And then, so, I mean, I love that song. The other song, Love You So, was actually co-written with the lead singer from, what is that band? Ryan Tedder. Do you know Ryan
Oh, One
Tedder? He's
Republic.
the lead singer. One Republic,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So we actually were in the studio together, I believe in LA when we wrote that song together. So I, I'll tell you the reason I really like that song is because I was so challenged. Frenchie, what's up? Because I was so challenged vocally, and I am one that likes to be pushed.
Yeah.
So, anyone that I can come into contact with that makes me like challenge myself, I love it. So Ryan Tedder was definitely in the studio like, nope, do it again. No, hit that higher note. Nope, do it again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how high do you want me to go? But two great records, and look, just because my first album is my favorite, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
every artist, it's our babies. I feel like every
Yeah.
artist says that about their first album.
Mm-hmm.
I still love my second album. My second album was so much fun. I got to dance more when I went on tour because a
Yeah.
lot of those songs were more up tempo. But yeah, but also I'm grateful I have two albums under my name. Who can also say that, you
Yeah.
know?
Very true. Yep. Yeah. Like who did you tour with at that time? Because I remember seeing you. Where did I see you? It was a club out in. It was called Zero Gravity. That's what it was.
Oh,
Zero.
Lord.
Oh my God. I feel. Yeah. Like it's crazy. I was probably like 20. No, hold on. That was 2006. So I had to be
Yeah.
18 or 19. Yeah, I had to be 18 or 19. That's crazy. But like,
You still look 18 or
I got.
19 by the way.
Thank
Yeah,
God. No,
yeah,
you as well. Like you haven't aged a day. I wanted to ask you like,
yeah.
so who did you tour with at that time, and or was it more like spot dates for yourself?
It was definitely radio bills. Like it was
What?
built like radio shows.
Mhm.
So, I mean, at that point, you start to kind of, it's very true what you guys see on TV. Like you forget what city you're in, you
Yeah.
forget, where you are and what day it is. But I believe that a lot of those shows were radio shows.
Okay.
And I can't tell you the artist,
Yeah.
I really can't. Every radio show, every Jingle Ball and Jingle Jam and like things like that. So, but it had to have been like the hot artist at that time. Obviously, being when that whole Latin era was hitting, I was
Yeah.
still constantly doing shows with like MB Riders and obviously Frankie and
Hmm.
everyone we've mentioned before. But yeah, it was a lot of being on the road.
Yeah. I want to tell you too. Like, like, did you even sleep? Because I'm sure. I mean, you had consistent albums back to back. I mean, you had no break really. It was just
No
boom,
break.
boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how was that? Like mentally, because it's a lot when you have one song out and then you're signed to a label and then, they push you so hard to, like you said, go on the radio tours and go to every radio station and doing promo and just meeting
Right.
executives and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's really tiring, but you're living your dream,
Yeah.
right? So and like I said earlier, like I have always consistently stayed busy. I have not. My best friends and my family can tell you I do not sit still.
Yeah.
So I was literally living the dream. Like to know that my record had hit, number one at radio, and then
Hmm.
suddenly my life changes, because that's what happens, guys. Like you write a hit song and your life changes, and I remember my manager telling me, you have to chase this record. Like you need to put an album out before this record disappears, and then you don't have album sales. And so I recorded my first album in 4 weeks. So all the songs you hear on Natalie plus the bonus tracks, I mean, we were cooking in the studio every single day. And so I did that in 4 weeks. And then you're right. I think I maybe had like a 3-month break
Hmm.
between the two albums. But because of that, like that's what the public gets, that 3-month break. But during that 3 months, you're still thinking of writing and like what you want your second album to be and all that. So it's not much of a break. When I sit back and I watch these award shows and I watch all these amazing artists win these awards, it's honestly the hard, dedicated work that they put in, because you do not eat or sleep when you're in that business. So so it's up to you if you want to keep pushing or, say it's not for me.
Yeah, I give you a lot of credit, because everyone thinks, the glitz and glamour, which it is that, but it's like 1%. It's not really, the hard work. And like you said, like everyone thinks, a lot of people tell me this, like I'll be backstage at a radio show. They're like, oh my God, are all the artists hanging out? I'm like, no, they probably don't even see each other. Literally go on stage, get off, do a quick interview with the radio show, and they're gone. And the next artist is in the next dressing room and they don't even see. Like, it's always, it's work. It's not, oh, hey, we're just here hanging out and, But I want to ask you, like, I know you retired from music, what was it, 2012. How was that a hard choice for you? Because, you were so used to it. How was it that decision for you, would you say?
So the retirement was not a choice, right? And I am one that I go where life takes me. I do not force anything. I've never been that way. And I just felt like I kept chasing it, right? Like, obviously coming from the NBA, being a Rockets power dancer, that was my platform. I met so many people that I actually saw on the road as a music artist that used to come to games and have supported me since my dancing days. And so, like I mentioned, dancing and entertainment had always been my thing. I honestly thought that, me singing on, mixtapes, like singing hooks on rappers' mixtapes here in Houston, that was like a cool hobby. I'm like, yay, I get to dance and go to practice and go to studio. But then when I fell in love with it and I heard myself on like my own record is when I actually was like, I can do this. And then a lot of people don't know this. I actually went on tour as a choreographer and backup dancer for Frankie J prior to signing my record deal. Frankie and Baby Bash, when Sugar Sugar was out. And so they did a show in one city where there were like 50,000 people there, and I was just this young little backup dancer. But the second I saw all of those people and all those camera flashes going off, I was like, why am I back here? I want to be up there with a mic. And a year later, it happened. So for me, after that second album and after like kind of touring and spot dates and things slowed down, I continued to work. I actually moved to LA for a little while. I would say like max 3 to 4 months. I stayed with a good friend. And I was still recording and still meeting with labels, but it just wasn't happening as easy as it was happening 5 years prior to that, So already in 2010, 2011, the music business was changing. And so I kept in contact with a lot of my NBA friends. I have mentors that still to this day I talk to, and they help guide me. And, if I have any major business decisions I need to make, other than my mother, of course. But they just kept calling me, and they just like, hey, we got this NBA dance coach job available. I was like, nope, don't want to do it. I turned down like 4 or 5 phone calls, just still trying to chase my music. Nope, I'm recording. No, I'm about to put a song out. Like every artist, I know y'all have been there. Every month it's like, put the new song out, and then nope, it never comes out. But so to make a long story shorter, that was happening, and then I just decided one time, I'm going to just listen to my dear friend, my mentor, and I'm going to take this NBA job, and I'm just going to do it. And I've had so much fun. I'll be with the Rockets now. This is my 8th season, so next season will already be my 9th. But the love and support that this organization gives me, and then even doing things like this, and I still record, I still write. I am working with other artists here in Houston, and I have some things coming up, so you will be the first one to know. So, but yeah, it's not ever an easy decision to have a dream that you've loved for so long, just like for that door to shut.
Hmm.
But if you just trust and you just know, like, okay, like I said earlier, the music's always going to come chasing
Yeah,
you, right?
regardless.
Like yeah, you can put it down, but it's still going to be like,
Oh,
hello, you got a song in there.
yeah.
So, and then even down to where the people I have around me in my life right now, who are all artists,
Yeah.
whether they sing or rap or dance or choreograph or DJ, like it's everyone around me is still in that field. And so it's like I've never left. So no retirement here,
No.
honey.
Well, I want to ask you too. Like, how many songs would you say you have like completed that are unreleased? Like you said,
Oh,
because you were still
wow.
recording and you still make music, but you just you do it more behind the scenes. How many would you say you estimate? Would you say
I would say hundreds, really. Like
hundreds?
I had 30 songs recorded before I even recorded Going Crazy. And
Okay.
again, that was just when I thought it was a hobby, like
Yeah.
just like hanging out in the studio. Oh, I'll record this song, record that song. Um, for the first album, I'd probably honestly say there were only maybe like 8 to 12 songs that we didn't pick.
Okay.
But I was in when I wrote the Natalie album, I
Uh
was in my zone. Like
huh.
every song was just like boom. And then after that, I have some songs that I wish everyone could hear. But when you work with different producers, it's like you
Hmm.
can't just put your stuff out there. But I feel like timing is everything,
Yeah.
and when that door opens, you guys will get the floodgate of Natalie music, and it excites me because years can go by, but that just means your craft is getting better,
Yep.
right? I would never want to put something out, especially after Going Crazy being my biggest hit ever. I
Hmm.
would never want to put something out that's less than that.
Yeah.
So I think the timing is fine, and whenever that should happen again, you all will know about it. Trust me.
Yeah, and I seen some people commenting on your post, I think like last week or the week before, about like people are like, "Oh my God, will you do an IG concert or sing a
I
couple?"
saw that.
Yeah, like have you thought about it? Because we're so unsure of when live concerts are. It's horrible because like you said, All Star Weekend was the last weekend I actually had fun and went out to like in Chicago and had fun. That was literally the last
Did,
hurrah.
did you wear your mask? Did you wear your mask?
It during All Star.
No. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh well, no, it didn't hit till afterwards.
It's it. Yeah.
I thought you said you recently just went out in Chicago, and I
Oh
was like, oh, you're
no.
brave.
No.
That's why I
I
was
went
like,
to the
did you wear your
doctor's
mask?
office. That's about it. Otherwise, I would not go
Okay.
anywhere. I'm petrified. I'm literally won't go. Like it's just scary. But
Sorry, Gallo.
oh
Somebody
yeah,
wants me to give a shout out to their dance girls at Cobb's sixth grade campus. What's up, dance girls?
yeah.
This
Read
is
the comments.
amazing.
Yeah, I love the
Hey,
comments.
Izzy. Hi, Ronnie. Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, like the love. When I posted this, everyone was just like, "Oh my God, Natalie!" I'm like, "Yeah," because everyone know. That's the cool thing too. Natalie, like just being on its own was so dope. I'm happy you didn't have, because a lot of people put their first and last name, just because
Right.
it's how you do it. But the standalone names are always, I feel like, I don't know, if you know music,
Right.
Natalie, you know what I'm saying? Like, but have you ever talked about, like you said, when you do drop music or you just need to do like, I don't know if it could be a whole tour, because I know touring's really expensive today to do a full on, 30,
Right.
40 city, but like 5 dates or even the major
Hmm.
markets. I need you, Paula, Jeannie, Frankie, Baby Bash, Amanda Perez, Nina Sky. Like, have you ever talked about doing something in the future of some
So,
kind of show?
a couple of years back, my ex road manager, who still manages lots of different artists to this
Mm-hmm.
day, we were talking about doing that. Me, Frankie, Baby Bash, Paula Deonda, MB Writers, like that whole crew.
Yeah.
I believe that they actually did a couple of club dates, but it was always talked about, right? And it
Yeah.
just never really happened. I think that would definitely be something once our world gets back
Yeah.
to being somewhat of a normalcy. I think that would be amazing. When going back to the post, when we talked about doing this interview, and thank you
Uh-huh.
so much for having me. Thank
Oh,
you.
definitely. Thank you.
Um, it was the busiest that my Instagram had been in a while.
Wow.
But to see all those comments and all the people who just still love the music and want to hear new stuff, or just still supporting me to like
Hmm.
even just being in the NBA industry, like it was amazing. I was reading that and I was like, okay, darn, would y'all really like a virtual concert? And to
Yeah.
see like the likes and the yes, and then people started giving me the songs they want to hear, the set list. I'm like, this might actually be good. Like I could see this happening. And it's really cool because I thought of my brother who can play every single instrument in the
Uh-huh.
world. And I actually thought of asking him, like, hey, you need to learn these songs acoustically because I would love to do an acoustic virtual like concert
Yes.
just so that people could hear like me, because those
Hmm.
songs are me, and then show love to my brother who is extremely talented with the guitar,
Yeah.
so and keep it all on the fam. So but yeah, I've definitely thought about it. So again, you will be one of the first people
First,
to
okay.
know, right?
Yeah, I want to ask you too, like, though, at that time back in, the late, well, no, mid 2000s, where the like I said, no, really, I would say the late 90s to 2010 were kind of like the best to be in the industry. It really
Oh
was. It
yeah.
was just the glory days. I know if I was ever an artist, I would want to be an artist today, new, because it was such that.
Hello.
And that's the great thing about IG Live. You just never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
It's
it's
IG
okay.
Live. But
That's what happens.
yeah, at that time, what is still one of your favorite moment or moments? Because I'm sure you had a lot of things you experienced that wasn't on camera. Certain
Right.
moments with artists or being at certain award shows or events or parties. What's something that stick out to you at that time?
My first show, always,
Yeah.
right? My very, very first, well, when I say my very first time ever performing, it was like in this small restaurant. It was Hard Rock Cafe or something like that in
Uh-huh.
Houston. I was dancing between tables and chairs with my two dancers. So that's real life. The mic still had the cord on it, all
Uh-huh.
those things that you have to do in the beginning of your career. But I remember going to Corpus Christi. It was our show open for the Frankie, Natalie, and Baby Bash tour.
Mm-hmm.
And, as a new artist, I always looked up to Bash and Frankie, just knowing their history, their
Yeah.
career, like how they came from 0 to 100, through years, not even quick,
Yeah.
just like it took the hard work we were talking about. So we go to Corpus, and we had 13,000 people out in some field, right? It was just kind of like very far away from society and buildings. I just
Yeah.
remember that. Um, I remember my family came out there, and there were just so many fans. And the first time I heard everyone singing Going Crazy, like they were singing it, not me. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, and I'm sure any artist could say this. Like it's this feeling that is just like, holy crap, they're singing something that I wrote. But besides that, there was a barricade and all these like young, teenagers that just
Uh-huh.
loved seeing us there. I'm up on stage and I decided to like walk closer to the edge of the stage, and they went ballistic and knocked over the barricade,
The
and I'm like,
barricade?
yeah, they knocked it over. I was like, everybody be safe. Like I was just like really concerned, but just to look out and see a sea of people like that, and they're all singing your
Yeah.
song, and then they go crazy. I remember the first time I was walking past, I got to a show early, and I was with my road manager, and I walked past these kids,
Uh-huh.
and they were behind a gate, and I'm just walking, like, probably, drinking my Starbucks or whatever I
Yeah.
was drinking at the time. And I just remember it was like during the day, and I'm just walking, and I walked by, and I heard all these screams, and I literally looked over. I was like, what are they screaming at? And he was like, you, Dodo, like, they're screaming at you. And I was like, no way. And I just looked, and I kind of, hi, Natalie! And I was like, what the heck? So, of course, I went over there and, like, signed all these autographs. My road manager was, like, this like, football player, and this huge guy. And he used to constantly have to, like, pick me up
Pick
and
me up.
take me away from the fans. Because I was all about, and I still am, just all about the fans. Like, anyone who wanted an autograph, a story told, a song sang, I would be like, yeah, sure. So, but those are, when you come into contact with people who respect you and your
Mhm.
work, that like surpasses anything. You don't even, at that point, you don't even worry about where your song is on radio or where it landed on a Billboard chart. You're literally talking to people who are crying and telling you
Yeah.
that your song has changed their life or you have touched their life. I have tons of stories from fans. I have letters. I still have all of my stuff where people have opened up to me about some really
Hmm.
deep things,
Yeah.
with as far as like how my music helped them get through stuff. So, I was meant to be out there at those times.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, what's one of the craziest fan moments you would say that sticks out to you? Because I know, especially at that time, fans are still go hard, but it's more virtual, I feel. Where that, it was in person. Like, to see you, you had to be there in person. You couldn't, what did we have back in that day? Like MySpace still, I guess. It's
Yes.
crazy. Like,
Yeah. MySpace. I can't recall anything like too crazy. I've always come across the fans who were very respectful. Like,
that's good.
like I think one time I may have gotten a pair of like panties thrown on stage or something, but I was just like, all right,
Okay.
like, but I think just in general, I don't remember anything like too crazy from my fans. I always felt overwhelmed with how much they loved me and how much they wanted to see me.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's actually crazy.
Well, it's awesome you say that too, because like you get excited for fans. Because so many artists, I feel, and I get it. You get tired, not of them.
Yeah.
You're just tired personally, where it's hard to, meet everyone. But like, it's cool to
Right.
hear you say like, I always got excited. Like, I always try to
Yeah.
sign every autograph or take every picture or do a shout out for someone. Like, that's
Yeah.
awesome to hear, because so many, I get it on both ends, from an artist standpoint and from a fan standpoint, because you are a person. You do get tired, and
Right.
people sometimes think of celebrities and artists as like a machine, or like you're not real. Like,
Yeah.
you know
The
what
only
I'm
thing
saying?
I will say that's happened a couple of times, and it actually has happened like months ago before all this COVID stuff has happened. The only thing I will say is like when you're eating and people get excited to see you and then they want to like take a picture or ask for an autograph while you're eating,
Eating?
I could see sometimes that being the only thing where you're kind of like, I remember the first time that happened to me, I was like, I'm eating right now. If you're still here, I'll come find you.
Yeah.
But more recently, especially here in Houston, and I love everybody here and all over, but like
Uh-huh.
Houston fans, they have stuck with me since like the beginning. And so it's really cool to go somewhere. And I actually do the in-arena hosting for the Rockets as well. So when
Uh-huh.
people come up to me and say, I'm a huge fan, I honestly think they're like, Rockets host
Yeah.
Natalie,
Yeah.
and they'll bust out an album. Will you sign it happens at games. They're like, will you sign my CD? Or, like I was mentioning, I went to a viewing party where the Rockets were away playing before COVID, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting there and I'm just eating my wings, and this couple comes over to me and they are you Natalie? And I'm thinking Rockets. And they're
Right.
like, oh my gosh, I love your song, blah, blah, blah. And I just think it's amazing. Like, it's like all
Yeah.
these years later that people just relate to the music still. And like you
Mhm.
said, it's such a blessing to have a timeless record like that, because it can play
Uh,
tomorrow and anyone can relate to it. So
no, definitely. Like, that's awesome just to know. And I love Houston. I've only been there once. Where did I go? To Toyota Center I went to go see Rihanna and
okay.
ASAP Rocky.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was I think it was 2013. It was a minute ago, but I got to visit again once all of this craziness is, done.
Of course.
But
Come see me.
yeah, I'm gonna hit you up for sure. But what's still on your bucket list, would you say? 'Cause like you said, you've done a lot. You still have a lot of time to do even more. What's still you want checked off?
It's a great question. I've always wanted to have my own business, definitely
Okay.
in the arts. I want to be able to have something for the younger generation, right? For the
Mhm.
younger kids. I'm so fortunate that I'm able to work with amazing talent I'm talking from like 7-year-olds up to like 35-year-olds, like these people who are just so like deep into their talents. And
Yeah.
sometimes some people don't have anywhere to go, or they don't
Hmm.
have the knowledge of how to even get to where they want to be. I come across so many young women who do want to join the entertainment industry, and I'm mentoring these people. And again, it's nothing that I put out there, but when they come
Yeah.
my way, I definitely want to help. So I think I've always wanted to own my own business. I have it in my imagination of how I see it all coming together. But definitely some sort of structure where I can help, the younger generation in the arts and entertainment field. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's something I've thought about for a long time, and I can see it happening within a couple of years for sure. A few years, not a couple.
Okay. Yeah, and I know a lot of people are asking like new music. What do you envision for when you do? Would you want? Because it's still different now, where EPs are like the new LPs, which is
Yes.
crazy. Because I always loved like I had all your CDs, the booklet, and looking at the production and who wrote it and who engineered it and where it
Yeah.
was recorded and the photos. Like it was just I don't know part of growing up. I always loved going to Sam Goody or Coconuts and picking them
Yes.
up, or Tower Records,
Yes.
one of the stores. But what do you envision? Like, what would you want to do? Like, single first, EP first? Would you want an LP out right away? What do you envision?
Yeah. Hey Trey, sorry Gallo, I'm
Oh,
gonna
you're
say hi to
good.
my fans real quick. Oh, would I like to own my own record label? That would be dope.
Yeah.
But I think that goes along the lines of the this entertainment art thing I'm talking
Hmm.
about. Wow, someone brought up Get Some. Oh wow, I
Ah.
don't even remember how that song goes, Alex, but I remember it. Alex was a diehard and obviously still is, but he Get Some I don't even think was released to like the public.
Public.
You'll have to remind me, Alex, because I kind of remember that. Um,
Yeah, the MySpace days. That's when it's
yeah.
crazy. Like, I miss
So,
MySpace.
so I actually am talking about releasing an EP. We're
Okay.
hoping for November.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. And I'm working with some amazing producers. DJ T Gray, who actually went on the road with me as my DJ when I was on
Uh-huh.
tour in 2005, and we're
Oh, just want to
still
cut
like,
you off. Alex said Walmart exclusive. It was.
oh snap! I told you, Alex
No,
knows.
yeah.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's amazing. The Walmart exclusive. Okay. Wow, get some. We'll have to get Alex on so he can sing
Yeah.
the song for me. Just kidding. Um, so no, but we're talking about November, and I actually want to do like a whole like visuals for every song, and
Yes.
I want it like this. I want it to be me. I have some songs that I've written that are like that are on that going crazy
Yep.
level, in my opinion. And like I was saying, I'm working with T Gray, and we have this dope producer. His name is Risco Funk, but
Okay.
his real name, I don't know if he wants me to give his real name, but we'll just call him Risco. And then another producer named Jonas. Like we're all just vibing, and we've been doing it during. I mean, for a while now. We've probably been working together for a year and a half now. Like this is
Okay.
something we've been talking about. And then obviously once quarantine hit, playing it safe when we would be recording and writing during that time as well. So we're hoping November, but I definitely think already I know what song I would want to put out first.
Okay.
And look, I'm not even worried about radio. I just want my fans to like hear this stuff and be able to log on to YouTube and see a video to it.
Yes.
But it's at this point in my career, it's more fun. Like
Yeah.
I want to do this for fun, and it's something that I love to do, and I want my fans to hear and see what I've been up to. So
Oh, that's so exciting to know because I was waiting. I was like, Natalie, she has to drop something soon. I know it. It's
yeah,
just a man. Like you said, you live life. New
yep,
things come up, and it's life. You don't have to stick to music. It'll always be in you, but you don't have to.
right,
Because some people push music so hard where it's like, it's just not worth it if it's not
right,
working at that moment. So it's dope that you understood like, hey, let me try something different, and always go back to music. It's your passion.
yep,
It's what you love to do. So, but I'm so happy new music. Like,
yeah. I'm
yes.
happy too. I can't wait for you to hear it.
Yes, I can't wait. But no, Natalie, I want to thank you so much for taking the opportunity, to sit down with me. You know, like I said, I've been wanting to interview you forever, and I was like, no, we have to do it in person. But then I was like, you know what? During quarantine, it makes sense to speak to who I always wanted to, via IG Live, because hey, we would never do this 20 years ago. You'd have to
Right.
be in person. But thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I think
Yeah.
you're amazing. I think it's great
Thank
what
you.
you do. Keep it up. I love following you. You're killing these interviews. So, and thanks for having me.
No,
And
thank you. I
thanks for having the
appreciate it.
comments on.
I know.
Hey, Arnie.
Everyone was complaining. They're like, Nick, put the comments on. I'm like, okay, I'll put them back on.
Yeah,
I've been lately because everyone's like, I want to hear what they say. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. I know.
yeah. No, it's awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Be safe out there.
Yeah, you
Everyone who
too.
logged on. Oh, hey, Mel. Oh, oh, what's up? My shoe plug is here too. What?
But
What's up,
yes,
Jay?
stay
No, I
safe,
just,
stay healthy.
yes,
Because I know it's still crazy, kind of everywhere in the U.S. Unfortunately.
it is. Everybody be safe out there. Follow your heart. Believe in yourself. Go for your dreams.
Yes.
Gallo, thank you so much.
Thank you. I
If you don't know,
appreciate you.
it's Gallo, the guy you know. I was like, what do I call him when I see him? Do I just say Nick or like?
I don't really care. Some people call me Gallo. It's my last name. Some people say Nick.
Yeah,
It's whatever. I'm like, I don't care. People like stick to Gallo. I'm like, I'm still Nick, so it
yeah.
it is what it is.
Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much. I hope to
Thank
talk to
you.
you again. All of you guys that logged in, thank you all so much for being here, and I hope to see you again soon, and maybe
Yes.
in person next time.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Oh, well, stay safe and have a great. Well, it's almost the weekend, so have a great weekend.
Yeah. Awesome. You
Okay.
too.
Thanks.
All
Appreciate
right.
you.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.